as fun as it was beating the Dodgers those first 2 games of that 3-game series in their home ballpark out there on the West Coast in LA, you simply just can't win every single game. The Phillies did drop the series finale of that 3-game road series against a very good Dodgers team. They were shut out 5-0 Wednesday night. The Phillies did win the series overall 2-1, which is great. That's all you can ask for, is keep winning series again, especially against these really good playoff caliber, World Series caliber, obviously championship caliber teams like the Dodgers. And the Phillies did take care of business against the Dodgers overall here in 2025. They won the series back at home earlier in the season, the first half of the season, 2-1, as well as this road series, 2-1. So they won that season series against the Dodgers 4-2. Always good to see that the Phillies can play well against and stack up well against the NL National League's top competition, especially gearing up for the playoffs when you have to beat these teams in the playoffs to obviously advance to a World Series opportunity against the top American League team of that season. Now the Phillies are off today here on Thursday before beginning a 3-game road series against the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are also trying to fight for a playoff spot right now. Starting tomorrow night on Friday, it's the Phillies' last road series of this regular season before they head home for the final 6 games in the final 2 series of the regular season. With that, the Phillies do have 3 series left here in the regular season and 9 games total. Welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Henley. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. As I said, you simply just can't win every single game. The Phillies offense flat last night in that 5-0 shutout loss to the Dodgers to lose that series finale, but still, again, win that series overall 2-1. The Phillies had just 3 hits in that loss last night, and obviously were not able to score a run. And with that, they were only able to have 3 opportunities with runners in scoring position. Obviously, just those 3 hits, a handful of walks, but just 3 opportunities with a runner in scoring position, and the Phillies were obviously 0 for 3 in those opportunities, not driving in a run last night, being shut out 5-0. They also just ran into very good pitching. Blake Snell, he's been a really good pitcher throughout his career, having a pretty good year here for the Dodgers as well, and the Phillies faced him last night, just couldn't figure him out. He went 7 innings for the Dodgers, allowed just 2 hits. He did walk 2 batters with 0 earned runs, and he struck out 12 Phillies batters in his 7 innings. Again, not good offense last night, ran into good pitching, and you just can't win them all. But all you can ask for is keep winning these series, especially against a good team like the Dodgers, and the Phillies did just that out there in LA on the road, including that series opening win where the Phillies were able to clinch the National League East title for the 2nd consecutive season, last year in 2024, and now this year, obviously, here in 2025. Jesús Luzardo was on the mound for the Phillies last night in that shutout loss to the Dodgers. He wasn't horrible. He wasn't great. Kind of just so-so average. He did grind through the innings, and he did go pretty deep into the ballgame, which is great, especially considering how he kind of looked earlier in the ballgame, allowing a few early runs. Jesús Luzardo had looked solid really since his last start of July. Obviously, he started his Phillies career really good after being acquired during the offseason from the Miami Marlins. Really good trade. He was looking like a National League Cy Young candidate, but then he ran into some mid-season struggles, had 2 really bad starts right in a row, and then was a little inconsistent. But really, again, since his last start in July, he has been very solid for the Phillies. However, he did run into some trouble last night in that 5-0 shutout loss to the Dodgers. Like I said, he did go deep into the ballgame. He did settle in a little bit. He did keep the Phillies in that ballgame. Just the offense couldn't get anything going. Jesús Luzardo went 7 innings, allowed 6 hits. He allowed 1 walk, 4 earned runs, and 6 strikeouts, and he picked up the loss in that ballgame. However, he did allow 2 home runs. They were both solo home runs, so you can live by that. Horrible when you're allowing, home runs with guys on base. That's just tough to come back for as an offense where you're allowing multiple runs like that. Solo home runs, you can live with. So, solo shot in the 2nd inning. Freddie Freeman hit one for them there to give them an early lead. And then Shohei Ohtani hit a home run in the 8th inning. A little bit of a questionable decision by Rob Thompson in that 8th inning. Luzardo was around 100 pitches after 7 innings, just the 3 earned runs. The Phillies were still in the ballgame. He decided to send Luzardo out for that 8th inning to face Shohei Ohtani, a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Again, he was fatigued, 100 or so pitches, and Shohei Ohtani took advantage and hit that solo home run in the 8th inning to give the Dodgers an extra run. But, just a little bit of a questionable decision. But overall, solid outing from Jesús Luzardo, but possibly a little bit of a two steps forward, one step back situation here. Again, he had been solid since the very end of July and then throughout August and early parts of September. However, now he has 2 consecutive starts where he has allowed 4 earned runs last night and his start prior to that. So you don't really like to see that. 4 earned runs you still can live with as a starter if you're going deep into a ball game like Jesús Luzardo has. He went 8 innings his previous start before last night and then 7+ innings last night in that 5-0 shutout loss. So 15 innings total in those previous 2 starts. He has had 16 strikeouts combined in those starts and allowed just 1 walk in those 2 starts. But again, 4 earned runs combined, or 4 earned runs in both of those starts, 8 earned runs combined in his last 2 starts. So a little bit more runs allowed than you would like. Again, he was doing good before that, still keeping the Phillies in the game. Hopefully, we don't see a little bit of a setback like he had earlier in the season where he was pitching great and then not so great for a little bit there and then pitching better again, really for the last couple of months here for the Phillies. You don't want to see that regression, especially heading into the playoffs into October, whether he's in the starting rotation, in that reduced starting rotation in the playoffs, or eating up some innings in the bullpen. You just need him to be pitching well, and hopefully this isn't a sign of bad things to come for Jesús Luzardo. Switching things up a little bit, we're going to go take a look at the Phillies farm system. One of their top prospects, Aidan Miller. He is the infielder, shortstop. He can play second base, third base, wherever really. Young kid. He started the season at Double-A with the Reading Fighting Phillies. It was his first full season at Double-A. He was promoted late last season from high A to Double-A, and now started the season in Double-A in 2025. Took a bit of an adjustment period for Aidan Miller to start figuring things out. Was pretty, not bad, but was having a very down year for the first couple of weeks and months there in Double-A. And then he caught fire and started to figure things out. Even earned a promotion to Triple-A a few weeks ago, a late season promotion for Aidan Miller, one of the Phillies' top prospects. And in his first 7 games with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs at Triple-A, he has a .348 batting average with 2 doubles, a home run, 1 RBI, and 6 stolen bases in those 7 games. So he's adjusted well early on here at Triple-A to that next level. Hopefully he can keep that up. Overall in 2025, as I said, started the season pretty slow with the Red and Fighting Phillies at Double-A. But overall, between the 2 levels, he's batting .264 with 27 doubles, 2 triples, 14 home runs, 42 RBIs, and 58 stolen bases. That's 115 games between Double-A and now those 7 games in Triple-A. And again, late season surge for Aidan Miller, caught fire there in Double-A to earn that late season promotion to Triple-A. And he's doing some good things at the plate right now for the Iron Pigs in his first 7 games with them. Again, very young kid, 21 years old, the Phillies' top first-round pick in 2023, just a couple years ago. Already at Triple-A now, so hopefully that is a good sign for Aidan Miller. Possibly he could be helping produce with the Phillies as soon as next year in 2026. We'll see how he finishes out this last couple of games of the Triple-A season, the offseason, spring training, hopefully at Major League Camp, and then what he can do. If not, maybe he starts the season at Triple-A, and then later in the season, maybe kind of like an Otto Kemp situation comes up and help the Phillies if needed in the infield due to injuries, or maybe someone's just not brought back or traded. Who knows? That's something to look for down the line, but all we care about is Aidan Miller is looking really good lately at the plate for the Phillies. It's great to see. Again, he's just 21 years old. The Iron Pigs have just 4 more games left of their regular season. They were eliminated from playoff contention down there in Triple-A this past Tuesday. So just these last 4 games for Aidan Miller to show and stay hot here to end his season and give the Phillies something to consider moving forward into the offseason and right into the 2026 season. Now back to the Major League level, looking at the playoff picture. Obviously, this series against the Dodgers was a big one, just like the series against the Mets was a big one with playoff implications for the Phillies and the National League. The Phillies took care of the Mets, sweeping them 4 games at Citizens Bank Park. Obviously got that huge lead in the division and then went on to win the National League East in that series opener of that road series against the Dodgers on Monday night. And with that series win over the Dodgers, they did gain some much needed ground for that second seed in the National League. Now the Phillies obviously are NL East champs. They are going to have a top 3 seed in the playoffs, the 3 division winners, top 3 seeds. but the top 2 seeds get a first round bye. We saw that last year. The Phillies got a bye with winning the division and being one of those top seeds. Didn't work out for them. We're lost in 4 games to the Mets in the NLDS. Hopefully we have a different outcome this year. But right now, they have the second best record in all of Major League Baseball. The top record is the Milwaukee Brewers, so both obviously in the National League. They are just 2.5 games back of the Brewers for the National League lead, with obviously 9 games left to play for the Phillies. So not impossible for them to jump the Brewers and get that first seed with home field advantage throughout the National League playoffs and that first round bye. But also a little unlikely. The Phillies really have 9 games left. They got to win most of their games and they hope the Brewers lose most of their games. So a little bit unlikely, but it's not impossible. Now, with that series win over the Dodgers, that 2-1 victory of the series for the Phillies, just this past series here that ended last night, the Phillies do have a 5.5 game lead over the Dodgers for the number 2 seed in the National League playoffs. So that's a first round bye if they hold on to that. Again, just 9 games left for the Phillies. Very unlikely they lose out on that top 2 seed now with taking care of business of the Dodgers. The Cubs are also right there in the picture. However, being in the NL Central with the Brewers, they had to jump the Brewers to be able to have one of those top seeds in the National League playoff. If not, there'll be a wild card team because that's just how it works. The top 3 teams get the top 3 seeds, or top 3 division winners get the top 3 seeds, and then the wild card teams are the last 3 teams. So the Cubs are a wild card team. They are just 2.5 games behind the Phillies, but again, that doesn't matter if they don't jump the Brewers in the National League Central. And then right now, if the playoffs ended today, which it doesn't, but the National League standings would go: Brewers have the 1 seed, Phillies have the 2 seed, so those two teams have the first round bye, and then the Dodgers at the 3 seed, the Cubs at the 4 seed, Padres at the 5 seed, and then the New York Mets at the 6 seed. Now, the Diamondbacks, the Giants, and the Reds are all right behind the Mets for a wild card spot. The Mets haven't been playing great baseball as of late. They've been losing a lot of games. They have just a 1.5 or 2 game lead over those 3 teams. So it's going to be interesting these last week or so of the regular season to see if the Mets continue to fall. They could possibly miss the playoffs if these teams win and the Mets keep losing. Who knows what will happen? But right now, all we know is the Phillies are NL East champs. They have a first round bye as of now and most likely will. And they most likely will be the number 2 seed in the National League playoffs. But they care about winning. They're going for that top seed. We'll see what happens. The Brewers need to lose some games. The Phillies got to keep winning. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Off day today for the Phillies before starting that last road series of the regular season against the Arizona Diamondbacks tomorrow night on Friday, and then heading home for those final 2 series and the final 6 games of the regular season. Again, thank you guys for watching, and as always, go Phils.